right, hey guys, what's going on? My name's Chris Hawkes. This is your best life defined. So let me start out by telling you a little story. So here Sandy and I are. We have my son. He's like, I don't know, he's like 8 months or something like that. He's 8 months old, maybe even a year. I don't know. He must have been a little older than that because he was like a toddler. He was already about ready to ride a bike. But what we do is we have our son and our daughter. Our youngest hadn't been born yet, and you know, we're poor. I'm working construction. We live in a crappy house, a little shack I bought for $17,000. Christmas is coming up, but we don't have money for Christmas. I'm a construction worker in Colorado in the winter, so I don't have money for Christmas. But there was this company, it was called Avco Finance. And what they would do is they would loan anybody money. I don't even know what my credit rating was back then. But so we go to Avco and we apply for a loan. Well, we get $1,200, right? Because we need some money for Christmas. And what do? We run out and we spend that entire $1,200 on Christmas presents. We bought my son a Michael Knight Rider electric car. That was before electric cars were even a thing, right? That was back when if you had an electric car in your yard for your kid, you were rich, right? So here we are. And what's cool is it felt so good to give that car to my son. And I'm lucky because that was one of those presents he really appreciated. I mean, he still talks about it today. He's 40, right? And he's still talking about his Michael Knight Rider car. He had the light in the front, so when you drive it, there was that light in the front. And if you don't know Michael Knight Rider, it was called Knight Rider is the name of the show, and I can't remember the main actor, but my point is that money is a funny thing, right? You can be, and for us, I remember times when we were struggling and we'd get to January, February, we'd file our taxes and we'd get our earned income credit and we'd get like $3,000 back or $4,000. I don't know what it was on our taxes, right? Man, we were rolling hard. But what's funny about it is we would actually view that money differently than any other money we have. It's almost like, well, this is kind of like free money. So because it's free money, we can go buy whatever we want. I don't know if that happens with you. And it's kind of a funny thing because as I think about it, there's a reason why that happens, right? You think about your life and how it goes. There aren't too many moments in your life on any given day where you get that surge of energy because of something you experience, right? But no matter where you are, no matter what your life looks like, there is an abundance of energy that comes from buying things, right? From that freedom to just choose. I don't know if it's the freedom to choose or the freedom to choose in combination with the fact that you get something new, and of course there's some energy in that. But when you categorize that extra money like your income tax and you go out there and you spend that money, man, I mean, it feels cool. I'll admit it. The day we drove out of the lot with this big ass brick, my home, it felt pretty good. We was on a high for about 3 days, right? Then we start looking at it. It was only after we got home. We got home after staying in Meeker, Colorado. We get home and I pull it in the yard, and I think I got a big yard, right? Until you pull this big ass brick in there, all of a sudden things got really small. But the reason that we find ourselves in a position we do with money is because it's not necessarily because we want to be in debt. It's because we want to replicate that feeling that comes from spending money. It's not just about what we get, because if that were the case, then none of us would have boxes upon boxes stacked up in our garage. We wouldn't have clothes we never wear and shoes we never wear and all kinds of crap hidden away in our lives that we never touch. I mean, an ironic example is when we decided to sell the house and liquidate all our assets. I'm going through stuff that I haven't seen in 10 years. And yeah, it's cool to remember the moment when you bought it and why you buy it, but it didn't do anything to my life. I haven't been using it, right? So why do we buy perpetually? Why is there always something else I want? Now, what's cool is I'm kind of in a level place. I found some balance with that because truly, right, as I sit here right now, I get an idea about things I might want, but then I spend some time pondering what it really would do to my life, and I think, no, I don't really want that. Now, this is just my theory, but my theory is, you know that adrenaline rush you get when you get something new? Doesn't matter what it is, it's the same thing. Buy a dinner out at McDonald's or buy a brand new car. There's the same satisfaction in the acquisition. I think it comes down to our hunter-gatherer, right? The lives we create, that is this Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday cycle of getting up at 5:30 in the morning, doing the same thing, going through the routine, getting home, there's probably not a lot of moments within that period that you get to feel the way you do when you go out and buy something new. There's not. And partly because this is how we've been trained. The reason that I would accept the fact that I get home from work and I eat supper and I mow the lawn and I do all those menial tasks I do is simply because I accepted it. I looked around and, well, that's what everyone else is doing, right? So why wouldn't I? And where money comes in is money is that boost of energy that keeps us going to work. We spend that money, ooh, yeah, all right. And it doesn't take much to inspire us. The point I'm making here is in order for you to escape that addiction to acquisition, as I call it, the control your want, right? You always got something you want. Well, I'm going to go to the store, right? I want this, I want that, right? The reason that we become want-minded is because our lives aren't designed to give us that feeling outside of spending money. I hope I'm not losing you here, but the point is, think about it. How many instances in your day will you have where you're like, oh, yeah, that was cool. All right, I'm excited about that. Chances are it doesn't happen. Chances are you don't have a lot of that. You might have a few laughs here and there, or maybe if you're fortunate, you get to go to the gym, or you choose to go to the gym, and that's your one outlet. But you work for that, right? You work for that. You have to squeeze that in. It doesn't take much squeezing in to go decide, I'm going to get me that $80 bottle of aged whiskey. It's supposed to be the smokiest whiskey ever made, right? It's a perfect machine for somebody. It's a perfect machine for the people who are trying to get that money out of your pocket. And I'm listening to Zig Ziglar, How to Close a Deal. And it's interesting because he says his attitude towards sales is, you have my money and I need my money. So his emphasis is to be the best salesman he can be, right? And that is the ticket that's been built. That's that whole story that's been billed to us, right? Because otherwise, those ads that say, hey, this will make you happy, that'll make you happy, buy a house will make you happy, let's go for a cruise will make you happy, better buy a house because they're getting short, there aren't any more houses. They're getting expensive, but buy one because you might not have a house, right? It's to trigger that need to feel that adrenaline rush from acquisition. The need to want. I want. I'm out there walking today and I'm thinking about this topic right here, and I'm thinking, what's really funny about that is I don't feel that same urgency to spend money, and the reason I don't is because waking up in the morning and grinding it out with my attitude on the book, posting my post and realizing or believing in my own mind at least that eventually this is going to change someone's life, and doing all the things I do that don't involve spending money deliver me with the same energy and excitement towards the life I'm living. Because my life isn't like most people's lives. Instead of me waking up and my life being centered around the things I have to do, the foundation of my life is centered around things I want to do. Now, don't confuse that with being easy. It's not always easy to show up here every day. It's not always easy to fight through this and say, you know what, I owe it to myself. This is a good thing, Chris. Go for it. Give them your best. But it adds that zing, that thing where, the book, it's been tough. I kind of feel a little bit of shame when I talk about the RV book, because I'm not. It's because it's not done, and I've been talking about it for almost a year, right? Over a year. But I know what it's going to do. What's going to happen is I'm going to publish this book and I'm going to start promoting it, and the next thing you know, my bank account's going to go up. You know why? Because I've taken the time to do a good job with it, and because it's what inspires me. I get excited about the idea of writing, putting my words down, and sharing a story that other people can use. My point in this whole conversation is this. In part, if you want to get control of your finances, if you want to have more money at your disposal to make choices, it starts by putting things in your life, add and ask things to your life that give you the energy that you're currently getting from the thrill of spending money. It doesn't matter to me what you pick. I'm not you. What I'm saying is that if you have something that excites you every day, that no matter what else you face, but at the end of the day, you get to do that one thing and you're like, you know what, that's cool. Let's do that again, right? That's how I feel about CrossFit. I mentioned this morning to Sandy, it's going to be one hell of a workout today. I looked at it, I'm like, ah. And she says, don't look at it that way. Attack it. Go after it. View it as an opportunity to do something more with your life, to set the bar for yourself, to set it for the example for others. That just because you're 59 and you're retired, it doesn't mean you have to sit on your butt. You can get up and you can move. You can become more, right? And that's where I get my juice, right? That's where I get my juice. When I'm out there walking and talking, I take pride in people wondering who I'm talking to. You know why? Because my thought is every minute that I spend practicing and working on my skill is one more opportunity for me to get better and to capture your attention to the point that you say, you know what? I think he's right, because that's the goal, right? That's my goal. My goal is to not waste your time. My goal is to give you something that you can say, you know what? I think you're right. And what's cool is it feels great in here. It feels great for me. And if I'm doing it right, hopefully it feels great for you. Pick one thing. Pick one thing in your life that you just get excited about. Something that you haven't done, something that you want to do, but you're just hesitating, and go for it. Add that to your life. No matter what else you have to do, add it to your life. And once you get that feeling and that sense of accomplishment, you get something to be excited about, guess what? It replaces that excitement that comes with handing that debit card over, that credit card over, and getting that new thing that's going to end up in a box in your garage. I don't know, just my idea. I know it works for me. I know I bought a power washer here in the last year. I bought a power washer and a steam cleaner, a steamer to travel with, because I take pride in keeping my RV clean and everything organized. But it took me nearly a year to make those purchases simply because I had to make sure that it fit. It wasn't a want. Is it going to make my life better, right? And guess what? It does. It has made my life better, and it's working for me. And because I have things in my life like the workout and like the podcast and the book and these ideas about where we're going, and even our lifestyle with us being able to travel, we have a constant source of inspiration. So I don't have to reach in my pocket and buy it. I don't have to reach in my pocket and buy that feeling of success, that feeling of accomplishment, right? Because I create it in other parts of my life. Where's your energy coming from? Aside from your pocketbook, aside from your credit card, where is your energy, where is your inspiration coming from? I guarantee the more sources of inspiration you add to your life, the less money you're going to have to spend. That's just the way it works. It doesn't cost me anything to play disc golf, but I feel like a champion every time I do. I don't know. Something to think about, guys. Hey, listen, I'm not going to roll too hard on this. I don't want to drag this thing out. Life is good for me. I don't know if you're seeing a change in my attitude, but I've just come to the realization that I'm doing this as much for me as I am for you. This helps me keep my life in track. And if it will help you keep your life on track, well, that's a plus. But I'm going to keep showing up. Thank you guys for showing up. It doesn't matter whether you like it, you don't like it. All I know is that the downloads are increasing, and I'm not giving up on me. I'm going to finish strong. So, hey, keep that in mind. Let's not forget about the kindness. And as always, just remember, today's your day. Make it a good one.